Across the United States, fentanyl kills almost 200 people every day, more than any other drug in the nation. A dose as small as 2 milligrams, which can fit on the tip of a pencil, can stop breathing in minutes. Since 2021, over 250,000 Americans have lost their lives to fentanyl overdoses, an epidemic affecting every age, race, and region. West Virginia, California, and New York have emerged as epicenters, but no corner of the country is untouched. This is not a future threat. It's the most dangerous drug crisis America has ever faced. This is fentanyl. The terrifying reality: many people overdose on fentanyl without ever knowing they took it. Dealers mix fentanyl into heroin, cocaine, meth, or press it into counterfeit pills designed to mimic prescription drugs from Adderall to oxycodone. The reason: fentanyl is so cheap and so strong, just a pinch is enough to produce the same high, turning every batch into a lottery with deadly odds. Border agents seized more than 7,500 pounds of fentanyl in 2025 alone, enough for millions of fatal doses. Despite high-profile crackdowns, traffickers keep flooding the market because it's easy to manufacture and smuggle in tiny quantities, often hidden in regular-looking packages or disguised as other medications. The rising prevalence of other adulterants, like xylazine, an animal tranquilizer doing further harm, adds an extra layer of danger. No recreational drug, and not even many street-ribbed prescription pills, are truly safe from the risk of fentanyl. How does fentanyl trap its victims? Many users genuinely believe they're taking something else, or something safer. Pressed pills look identical to pharmacy products, and powders are impossible to distinguish by sight, taste, or smell. Some users, newly cut off from prescription opioids, turn to the illicit market, only to find fentanyl lurking in nearly everything. In cities and suburbs alike, young adults are especially vulnerable. Adults between 25 and 44 now account for over half of all fentanyl deaths. Recent studies have found that in some major U.S. cities, over 80% of street drugs sold as heroin now test positive for fentanyl, often without the buyer's knowledge. In locations like Philadelphia and Vancouver, contamination rates in street opioids are so high that pure heroin is nearly impossible to find, turning every use into a life-threatening gamble. This new generation of overdose doesn't just affect long-time drug users. It affects anyone, including those experimenting for the first time, seeking relief from pain, self-medicating for mental health, or simply trusting a friend's supply. The trap is set by price, accessibility, and an almost total lack of quality control. For those chasing a way out of pain or craving an unstoppable high, fentanyl delivers in seconds what other opioids struggle to achieve. It's 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine, causing a rush so intense it's described as blissful oblivion. In the grip of withdrawal or despair, that feeling, no matter how brief, becomes irresistible for some. But this is exactly why fentanyl is so deadly. The difference between a dose that brings euphoria and a dose that causes death is wafer thin. There's no margin for error. Many users lose their tolerance quickly, especially after treatment or jail. Returning to the same dose can be instantly fatal. Some people do develop a reliance on the high, but many others become accidental victims, having never intended to take fentanyl at all. Meanwhile, communities are fighting back. A focus on harm reduction, from naloxone access to drug checking programs, is beginning to bend the curve. But fentanyl's legacy continues to transform the meaning of risk for every generation. Fentanyl's first effect on the body can feel pleasurable, a powerful rush of relaxation and euphoria that's far stronger and faster than other opioids. But beneath the surface, the drug is already starting a chain reaction throughout every major organ system. The most dangerous impact hits the brain and respiratory system. Fentanyl binds tightly to opioid receptors, slowing breathing and, at higher doses, suppressing it completely. Just a small miscalculation can cause respiratory arrest within minutes, as the body forgets to draw breath, often leading to unconsciousness, brain damage, or death before help arrives. Other alarming effects include extreme drowsiness, confusion, pinpoint pupils, and a plunging heart rate and blood pressure. Sometimes muscle rigidity, especially in the chest, called wooden chest syndrome, makes breathing even harder. The gastrointestinal tract slows, causing constipation at high doses, dangerous blockages. Users may experience nausea, vomiting, and crippling fatigue that lingers long after the high fades. For chronic users, the risk grows: weakened immune function, sexual health effects, bone loss, even accidental overdose from reduced drug sensitivity. Long-term, the brain adapts, making emotional balance and pleasure from normal life harder to feel without the drug. One reason addiction takes hold so quickly. Repeated use can trigger opioid-induced hyperalgesia, where the body becomes more sensitive to pain instead of less. And if mixed with depressants or combined with a missed heartbeat, fentanyl's shutdown can be unstoppable. Fentanyl's power comes at a steep price. It turns moments of escape into a perilous gamble with every breath. There's a chilling physical sign often seen in fentanyl users known as the fentanyl fold, a striking posture where a person is bent sharply forward at the waist, with their head bowed low, knees bent, and arms limp, almost as if their body is folding in on itself. Fentanyl fold. People in this state often appear frozen or unresponsive, standing but having lost control over their muscles, locked in this bent forward position, sometimes for minutes or even hours. What causes this unnatural posture? It's not due to any spinal injury or structural problem, but a neuromuscular side effect of fentanyl and similar synthetic opioids. These drugs cause severe muscle rigidity, especially in the trunk muscles that support the spine, making it difficult to straighten up or move freely. At the same time, fentanyl depresses the central nervous system, slowing brain function and conscious awareness, and weakens other muscle groups responsible for correcting posture and balance. This paradox of rigid muscles locking the body in place, mixed with weakened muscles unable to hold posture, creates a locked hinge effect, forcing the body into this folded stance. The same central nervous system depression that produces deep sedation also slows breathing and decreases responsiveness, making the fentanyl fold a visible sign of overdose or near overdose conditions. Medically, the fentanyl fold is a red flag signaling acute physiological distress. Users trapped in this position face serious risks: impaired breathing, poor circulation, and a high chance of falls or injuries from losing balance unaware. While some may appear merely asleep or nodding off, the fentanyl fold is actually a dangerous neurological shutdown requiring immediate medical attention. This phenomenon is especially prevalent in cities heavily impacted by fentanyl overdoses, like San Francisco and Baltimore. It highlights how fentanyl's potency and rapid effects don't just dull pain or produce euphoria. They can literally freeze a person's body and normal functions, revealing the cruel physical toll of this drug on the body. Yet despite the terrifying reality, the fentanyl fold, and fentanyl use more broadly, has become a subject of memes and jokes on social media. Images and videos of people exhibiting the fentanyl fold sometimes get shared as humorous or shocking content, turning what is a serious medical emergency into entertainment or internet dare culture. This memification can dangerously downplay the lethal consequences of fentanyl use, especially among youth and social media users who may not understand the true severity behind these viral posts. Treating fentanyl use as a joke creates a false sense of safety and invulnerability that fuels risky behavior. The quick onset of overdose symptoms, like the fentanyl fold, is not a harmless or funny episode. It is often a visible sign that someone needs immediate medical help to survive. The contrast between the real physical suffering and the casual tone of memes clouds the urgency of the crisis and risks normalizing a deadly drug that should never be taken lightly. In reality, the fentanyl fold is a stark warning. It is the body's cry for help, a reminder that fentanyl's grip is powerful, fast, and unforgiving. Recognizing and respecting this danger, not trivializing it, is critical for saving lives and stopping the cycle of overdose and tragedy. The fentanyl crisis represents one of the most devastating public health challenges in modern American history. Since the early 2010s, synthetic opioids like fentanyl have driven an unprecedented wave of overdose deaths, claiming hundreds of thousands of lives, with daily fatalities nearing 200 as recently as 2023. While recent years have seen some declines due to increased awareness, expanded harm reduction, and law enforcement efforts, fentanyl remains a potent and pervasive threat to public health. This crisis is much more than just the presence of a drug. It reveals deep social and economic fractures, from gaps in addiction treatment and mental health care to the rise of illicit drug trafficking and the contamination of the drug supply. It touches every community, affecting young people, working adults, and families from all backgrounds. The loss is measured not only in lives, but also in strained healthcare systems, lost economic productivity, and disrupted communities. But amid these challenges, hope exists. Harm reduction strategies, such as widespread naloxone distribution, drug checking services, and expanded access to evidence-based addiction treatment, are helping save lives. Public education campaigns are vital to counter misinformation, reduce stigma, and encourage people to seek help before tragedy occurs. Fentanyl's story is still being written. The need of the hour is compassion, knowledge, and coordinated action to turn the tide. Each life lost is a call to do more, whether that means supporting someone struggling with addiction, advocating for better healthcare resources, or simply sharing accurate information. If you or someone you love is facing opioid use, know that help is available. Reaching out is a brave first step. Together, informed and united, we can protect lives and work toward a future where fentanyl's deadly grip is finally broken. Visual fades to helpline numbers, support resources, and community organizations. This closing leaves viewers with a hopeful yet urgent call to action, emphasizing the broad context and ongoing fight against the fentanyl epidemic without revisiting earlier specific topics. It ensures the video ends on a strong, uplifting note informed by current data and public health perspectives.